remember those days when we first started talking about doing the company and doing Mystery House? And we used to sit around at night and say, gosh, if this game would ever sell just 10,000 copies, I mean, that was kind of the magic number we had in mind, then that would allow us to move out of LA. We could live kind of happily ever after, because we weren't going for a big house or nothing. We just wanted a log cabin in the woods.
He got his first Apple computer back in 1979, 1980, and brought home a little game called Colossal Cave, a little text adventure game. And I started playing it, and this sort of gave me the idea that, I could try doing this. I think at the time we thought, well, if we could just earn $40,000 a year, we could live comfortably in the woods and, and just work at home and work together on games. Wouldn't that be fun? The truth of Mystery House is that it was the first computer game with graphics. Nobody ever really realizes that, but all computer games up till that point were all text. And it was the first computer game with graphics. Didn't have any animation, didn't have any sound, didn't have any color. It was black and white, but it did have graphics.
Success after we started Sierra came fast. I remember we shipped our first product on, I think it was May 5th, 1980. And at that point, it was kind of like some year this might be big enough we could leave LA. And we bought our house in Yosemite in August of 1980.
Right away, we were bombarded with calls day and night.
We just didn't realize what had happened, and suddenly there were 30,000, 40,000 people out there with our home phone. And we'd get woke up at 3 and 4 in the morning, and it was just kind of around the clock, and we were
all the time. We had boxes in our house everywhere, just piled with stuff. And it lasted about 6 months. We moved to Oakhurst, and then it lasted about another 3 months in our house, and and we were starting to hire employees by this time. At that point, I said, "That's it. No secretaries are coming to work here at my house. It's time to get an office."
Roberta's parents had put an apple orchard in Yosemite, and we decided that'd be a nice place to be. I think the town grew up to about 7,000 people, but 550 were working for us in Oakhurst. We looked at our growth rate over the next few years, and they said, where are they going to live? There was no way that they were going to build, the apartment buildings or the housing to put people in. So ultimately, we had to leave Oakhurst. There's been a lot of change in the industry. I remember originally there was not the sense of it being a highly competitive business, that it was more us and a few other companies that were trying to change the world through doing computer games. Every year we'd do kind of an industry raft trip, and the whole industry would go rafting together. We'd take all of our employees, go down the rivers together and throw buckets of water at each other. These days it's more of it's a real industry, and the goal here is to try to grab 2 points of market share.
I love my job. I can't ask for a better job. I told some of my son's friends, that what I do is I sit around and make up things all day. It's just really fun.
Yeah, we got awfully good competitors. I mean, to figure out how to do better games than they do every year is a lot of complexity, but we do it. We've done it 15 years in a row. We'll just do it another 15 or so.
Are we filming? My name is Roberta Williams. I'm a computer game designer, mostly basically adventure games. I'm more of a writer. I like to write stories and watch movies and read books. I watch a lot of horror. I like horror. I read horror books. Not a lot, but I mean I am a horror fan. Also a co-founder of Sierra Online, and I've been doing this for about 15 years. As you guys could tell, I still work at my kitchen table quite often. Things don't change as much as you think. I hate to say they're like you, but elements of yourself, I think, do come into it. Basically, the essential idea of how I design and how I think of a game is not really changed from Mystery House, the first game I did. The basic elements are still there. Sometimes it just comes to you, be laying asleep and an idea just comes to you, or you have a dream, or you'll see a movie or read something and it just gives you an idea and it sort of builds from there. If you're really a writer, from the time you're a child, you have characters that you think of and that you've always had. I'm probably one of the few game designers that had that character be female, quite often. Not always, but quite often. I think there's a little bit of myself in some of that kind of character. We just have a top-notch artistic team and animation team and great writers and just everything going for it. I think people will be very, very pleased with it. Oh, don't make me say it again. I like working for Sierra because I founded it. I have to like it. No. We just have a lot of talented people. And it's just so exciting to be involved with the group of people that I am involved with. I feel so lucky to be able to do this kind of work and to meet the kind of people I meet and to create. To me, it's just so fulfilling to create these worlds and these characters and these stories. And I feel that Sierra gives me and other people that opportunity to do that. It's hard, when you ask inspiration, where it actually comes from. Sometimes it just comes to you. You'll be laying asleep and an idea just comes to you, or you have a dream, or you'll see a movie or read something, and it just gives you an idea, and it sort of builds from there.
We did market research before releasing King's Quest VI, just for the heck of it, to see how well it would sell. And so we did some fun research where we asked people, would you drive 30 miles to get it if you had to? And it was almost 100%, and it didn't drop below 92% until they had to drive over 70 miles to get their King's Quest.
With King's Quest VII, we really wanted to put a new face on this product. Seventh in a series, it's always hard to think how to make this bigger and better than the last one, and to keep something like King's Quest alive and fresh and new. I think we've always been very successful at that. Always keep the quality up. We always keep the storyline up. It's one of the things that we're doing with King's Quest VII. We really went into this one, and this is going to be on CD, by the way, pure CD, multimedia, all sound. We went into it with the idea that this was going to be Disney-like. So the look is different than other King's Quests. It's much more lighthearted. It's much more fanciful. The characters are all done with paper animation, so they're very free-form, free-moving. The bigger, funnier, and it's cinematic. A lot more cinematic scenes, camera movements. So actors, are real big these days. A lot of games now, tout the fact that they have actors. King's Quest doesn't have that, and it shouldn't have that because it is, a sort of a Disney-like experience. But keeping that in mind, it is very beautiful, and it is very cinematic, and very in keeping with the times. That's one thing that King's Quest is famous for is you go to a land, but the land is usually divided into pieces and parts with different kinds of characters and themes. And that's true with King's Quest VII. Each sort of region has its own look, types of characters, and atmosphere, so that you get this varied landscape. But like I said, we just have a top-notch artistic team and animation team and great writers and just everything going for it. I think people will be very, very pleased with it. The essential idea of how I design and how I think of a game is not really changed from Mystery House, the first game I did. The basic elements are still there. How I think about it is basically the same. Technology has enhanced how they look, how they sound, and how they feel to the customer. But it's kind of funny if you forget all that, if you forget how much better the games look or how much better they sound, and you're just really involved in the story of the game, there isn't that much difference between how you feel when you're playing Mystery House to how you feel when you're playing King's Quest VII.
I think of Sierra as a interactive entertainment company. I always kind of break the world into passive entertainment companies and interactive entertainment companies. In passive entertainment, there were book companies, record companies, and film companies. But and I don't think passive entertainment's going away, but there's this other whole industry called interactive entertainment that's going to emerge. And I think that it's probably going to be bigger than passive entertainment ever was. And there's nothing you can do. Yeah, it's just like TV didn't obsolete radio, but there's so much more you can do in TV. And interactive entertainment isn't going to eliminate any of the passive entertainment industries, but you can do everything they can plus a whole lot more. And Sierra's goal has always been to be the leader in interactive entertainment and to prove to the world that this truly is a different medium, not just movies with a computer or something. It's different. It's suddenly make the player kind of the master of the world, make them own all those pixels on that screen of that machine, and it's going to be an enormous industry, and we just want to own it.
Well, I just want to see it. I want to see it grow and prosper and become important in the entertainment industry. I want Sierra and the people in Sierra to really make their mark in the entertainment industry and not just be thought of as a computer game company, but really we have talented animators and writers and actors and composers and we understand all the ins and outs of the entertainment industry as well as anybody in the entertainment industry. I also feel that I would like Sierra to be one of the major companies to really set the standards for what an interactive story or movie is in the future. What is that? Everybody now is still sort of jockeying for that position as to what it is, and nobody's really hit that mark yet. I'd like to think Sierra could do that.